shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
Of Adam Gase. I mean, like, why you would even get into a fight with a player who obviously needed surgery and go through this whole rigmarole and what that does to the locker room. Do you realize? See, when you're losing and you have a player that essentially says, I'm getting surgery because I need surgery, has the surgery supposedly, of course, is worse than, initially thought the injury was. And it was, those of us at NFL Today yesterday, all the people that are on our crew, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, who have hundreds of years of combined NFL experience, have never seen anything this stupid in their lives.
Well, the pettiest thing was after the surgery, after Kelechi Osemele had the surgery, they still hadn't released him, and they put him on the injury report as doubtful. That's the pettiest thing I've ever seen.
But
honestly.
But you know what that is? That's Adam Gase. That's
well, that's not good. Is what that is.
It's not good. Really, honestly, what he should have done, and all of us are sitting there yesterday, and again, I can't reiterate enough that all the experience that all of the people around this one table have, including Coach Cowher and Phil Simms and myself and Nate Burleson and James Brown, who's been covering the NFL, seems like, for 35, 40 years, and all these other insiders and people who have the connections to all the people within the NFL, the front offices everywhere. People are scratching their head over how this looks, and it looks like this is one of the Adam Gase kind of like, mind meltdowns.
Yeah,
it just does not.
He doesn't seem like
sense.
a very player-friendly guy, unless it's the quarterback. And even then, if that falls apart, you saw his relationship with Ryan Tannehill go right down the drain.
And Ryan Tannehill kept getting hurt, and he was frustrated by that. But what this does now, on top of the losing, it kind of now gives the.
You got to be the pettiest coach. You mad at a player because he got hurt. You don't know what time you get hurt. You don't know what play you get hurt because you don't know because your general is rushing. You don't know what can happen to your body in the game. What he didn't know he was hurt. But if he do, you can't be mad a person be hurt. You can't be mad at that. Things happen. Players get hurt. Some players could go a whole career without getting hurt. But some get hurt in their career. He was thinking about his career. I don't want to keep playing on it, and then I got to think down the line what it's going to do to me. Then you mad at Ryan Tannehill because he got hurt? That's petty. Because you mad at a player because his body messed up and he get bruised up and hurt, injured elbow, whatever. You can't be mad at a player because he get hurt. It happens. Football is a physical sport. It's bound to happen. You bound to get any type of injury. You can't help that. You get hurt. You can't prevent that. So you're going to be petty and be mad at him and argue with him because he got hurt? That's petty.
Players a reason to turn their backs on their coaches.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a very fragile thing, man. This is why like you never hear this stuff now. You're going to hear a little bit with Antonio Brown and the Patriots, but the Patriots just cut guys. They just move guys on. If you got to pay a guy, get him out of here. Maybe one day, we'll bring him back like Jamie Collins and he'll turn into an all-pro again when he plays for us as opposed to the Browns. But this is a mess of mammoth proportions for the New York Jets now. It is completely out of whack, and that's why I think that there could be more guys than we think being moved out of here if Adam Gase has his way, because he's not going to put up with the locker room lawyers under the guise of losing, and on top of this whole Kelechi Osemele thing, with this quarterback basically melting down the last 2 weeks.
Well, you got to be careful with that, though, because there are some talented players on this roster, and you can't be just pairing guys off and getting rid of them for what they're not worth because you're pissed off at them, right? That's something I don't want to see.
They're going to have a top 5 draft pick.
And I got to ask you something. You said something before that was alarming to me. You said, Joe Douglas is there as the GM in name only. That can't be right. I mean, if that's the case...
You know who's running the team.
If that's the case, then why the hell... But I understand. And obviously after McCagnon and before Joe Douglas, there was no question about it. But Joe Douglas is a highly respected personnel guy in the league. If he comes in here now and does not have more say about the roster than Adam Gase, then that's a big problem in my eyes.
Well, I'm just telling you right now, this is Adam Gase's team. It is, and it's basically spiraling out of control.
Why would Joe Douglas take the job?
The more I watch this stuff, and the more I see what's going on here, and how this thing is completely unraveled in like the last 3 weeks.
Right.
I mean, the last 3 weeks have been horrific. I wanted to give a pass, and we did give a pass because of the Luke Falk situation and because of their schedule and who they were playing. Now they go to Miami next week, and that's Adam Gase's former team. And if you go down there and you lose that game, then all hell is going to break.
I think it's already broken loose.
I think I just feel like what has exacerbated all of this has been the Osemele injury thing. And I don't want to get into who's right, who's wrong. At the end of the day, the player needed surgery.
That's going to make a player don't want to play with you. So if someone come in and want to play with the Jets and they get hurt, you going to be mad at them for getting hurt? That make players don't want to go to that team. Because the coach is Patty. He get mad if you get bruised up. He get mad at the little things. He just frustrated because the team ain't winning right now. But that don't mean you get mad at a player because he know he needed surgery. When you get hurt, it happens. You can't stop that from happening. And that's going to make the players turn their back on you in that locker room. And then you're not going to have players go on that field and perform because they don't know if they get hurt and you be mad at them.
And the surgery happened. The Jets are going to lose every aspect of the argument between them and Osemele. And I'm sorry, you got to pay the guy. The guy's injured. He had his, I don't care what you thought he said. I don't care if you thought he should have been playing. Other players have played through this. When a player says he needs surgery and goes and has the surgery and the surgery is performed by a reputable doctor, I'm sorry, he needed surgery and he had to take care of his body and he's in the last year of his contract.
Good doctors aren't out there just performing surgeries for the hell of it. You can't just walk and be like, hey, give me some surgery here to prove my point.
Well,
that doesn't happen.
You want a butt lift in Queens or something.
Well, that's a little different. That's elective, yeah.
Right, I know. But here's the thing. This now creates even more on top of Adam Gase. It is a mishmash of what's going on over there. He's got the most important player basically seeing ghosts, not playing well, getting his ass kicked yesterday. The offensive line is terrible. One of his prize additions, or at least Mike McCagnon's prize additions, basically had surgeries done and is in a contract dispute now with the Jets.
Grievances all over the place.
That is not going to bode well for free agency. That's not going to bode well for any unhappy player in that locker room right now that maybe we haven't heard from. And this thing is completely come unhinged. It is unhinged.
Yeah, no, this season has gone worse than anybody could have ever imagined. I thought they had an opportunity this week to right the ship, and I think that it got even worse. I mean, I could make a case that this particular loss was worse than even the New England loss because it followed up Sam's worst performance as a professional. They mocked him and he was bad again. And people say, do the Jets have a quarterback? Is Sam Darnold the answer? What scares me about this situation is he might have been the answer, but he's getting ruined right now where nobody's blocking for him and his head coach is clueless. And that we've seen.
Sam Darnold could be the answer for the Jets. They picked the wrong coach to coach him. If he ain't do a good job at Miami, he showing hell wasn't going to do a good job with the Jets. The play caller he called for Sam Darnold, had him looking horrible. He put Sam Darnold in the wrong place and called the wrong plays for him. He ain't setting up Sam Darnold to be successful. He's going to ruin his career. You don't hire someone that only made one playoff as a coach. Since he coached Miami, he only made one playoffs. How did he get that job? You go get someone that know how to fit Sam Darnold's skill set. You don't go get someone who only had one playoff during his coaching team. You don't go get him. Stuff like this. You cut players because they get hurt. You argue with a franchise quarterback in Miami. Now he's in Tennessee because he got hurt. And then you got your young quarterback seeing ghosts. It's not that. It's the play calling that's not helping him.
From other talented players when they are in organizations where things are not going well, when they're in that bottom half, those Browns of the world, the Cardinals of the world, the Raiders of the places like that, the Bengals of the world, as you have talked about many times, places like that where young quarterbacks get thrown in that blender, that NFL blender you always talk about, and then they come out and they're never the same.
I'm telling you right now, you had a 178th pick overall in this year's draft in Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Look like he is, 3 years ahead of where Sam Darnold is.
I'll give you the perfect example for two plays. Sam Darnold's first pick, right? Pressure, flushed out of the pocket, throws an interception. Gardner Minshew, pressure not soon after that, or soon after that rather, pressure, looks down the field, throws a touchdown pass to Conley. I mean, that right there, you want to talk about two players in different stratospheres right now, it's those two guys. And don't even give me the offensive line with those particular plays, because Gardner Minshew was under duress, and he had to make a play with his legs and then throw while on the run. And those are two examples right there of isolated plays within the game where one quarterback was 10 times better than the other quarterback.
So what are the what are the ingredients of a lousy football team?
Bad offensive and defensive lines.
Penalties.
Yeah, penalties. Obviously
drop
bad
passes,
quarterback play.
Bad quarterback play, not a lack of a running game.
Sure. I mean, you got everything there.
Or a lack of a run defense.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the fact that the offensive and defensive lines for the Jets right now are some of the worst in football.